Welcome to San Diego, California for day one of the USA Ultimate National Championships. Club Championships where DC Space Heater is playing Seattle Mixtape in pool play. The 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web at vcultimate.com. So I'm Emmy Fitzgerald here with Chris Mazer. And Chris, this is likely one of the most anticipated matchups so far, certainly of the tournament. Why is that?
Well, very simply, Twitter exists, and these two teams had too much beef before the season even started. I think we can thank Ultiworld for creating hype, as they tend to do year in and year out around things that might not exist. And here we are, two teams hated each other before ever playing.
And I think you understand the hype that can be created around being the 2016 Mixed Ultiworld Player of the Year, of course. But Space Heater also has a lot of very figures, even though it's their first year as a team.
It's kind of unbelievable. This is kind of the roster you dream about creating. If you went out and said, let me go get 4 of the best female throwers in the world, let me go get some of the best up-and-coming young male talent going downfield, and then, oh yeah, throw in arguably the best lefty handler in the game in Alan Kolick, I would say that this is the roster you'd want to put together. On the other side, though, Mixtape, they know what they're doing. They've been here before. They have great chemistry, and this is going to be what says it all, right? It's going to be a team versus individuals.
And that's something that has been covered quite a bit, where Mixtape formed, they call it kind of the new school of mixed, where it's a team where they're here to play mixed versus a bunch of all-stars. But the first pull is up. Seattle will start on offense. Mark Burton with the disc. Tight person matchups from Space Heater. Mixtape in the black jerseys, Space Heater in white. Working it up into the middle of the field. Shooting towards the end zone, but there's Sandy Jorgensen.
Seems like they might have missed that bit of feedback. You know, Sandy has done that a couple times in her career.
Her former team, DC Scandal, playing on the field behind us. And Space Heater answering with a lot of yardage their own. And Jorgensen right outside the end zone. Into tight spaces. That bobbles. And looks like Crystal Davis is calling a foul.
Yeah, tough to see here. It looks like she's saying that she might have caught her elbow as she was trying to clap catch. Ooh, I don't know. Tough to say. It looks like she got there pretty clean.
You see that really nice layout from Abramovich. And observer rules, no foul. Disc will go back to Mixtape. So, first call of the game, seemed pretty spirited.
Yeah, easy. No problem there.
So Bolton with the disc. Looked like he was winding up to throw something pretty big, but
it seems like early they are showing a lot of respect to number 43, Joe Frund here. He is a big body. They have holstered a couple shots that I think they normally would throw as a trust throw to Brad Hauser. Mixtape has made a career out of throwing up trust throws to Brad.
So Bolton will keep the disc. There was a substitution on the field. Georgia Bosher on. Underneath. And a line drive of a put going over the top. Just too far.
Is it too early to say this was overhyped? We have 3 turnovers on the first point. Would have loved to see a completion out of one of these deep shots.
And some of it's nerves, too, starting the game. Space Heater cycling through a couple cutters. Freund underneath to Jorgensen. Jorgensen continuing to Davis. To tight space to Rady. And that's a score. First point on the board is a break for Space Heater.
Beautiful defense to guard the open side, and Jesse Bolton gets caught sleeping. Easy goal for Space Heater, 1-0.
So we saw a lot of back and forth. What do you think finally helped Space Heater to make those connections?
Well, it all started with a beautiful initiation cut out of Georgia Boscher. Really difficult to guard one-on-one in space. And then you have 2 very fast, tall receivers in Freund and Jorgensen just chewing up yards downfield. They are cutting hard away, snapping the rope, as they say, on a hard in cut and gaining yards.
And the story of these 2 teams coming into this was a little bit different. Mixtape having a lot more time to rest than Space Heater.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like Space Heater was in a little bit of a barn burner right before this against Mischief, who gave both of these teams a hard game earlier today. Just so happened that Space Heater got to see Mischief second. They were actually down 9-6 in that game before coming back.
So there's the pull from Space Heater going to Mixtape. Centering to Burton. Far sideline, underneath to Stout. Resets to Burton. Really nice break around. Hauser with the disc and shoots that across the entire width of the field. Finds Kai Fong. Mixtape doesn't waste any time to get their first point on the board.
Beautifully thrown. It was just the perfect weight out of Hauser. Gave Kai plenty of time to run under this. He threw it nice and early. It almost looked like their offense had stalled out, but here it is, just a tasty biscuit.
It just sits so perfectly.
And I don't think you can tell with that shot, though, how windy it is. It seems like throughout the day the wind has picked up a bunch, and it's going in that direction. So to be able to put the right angle on the disc, throwing that way with a little bit of a cross wind, have it sit down, stay in bounds, beautifully done by Hauser.
So now we're all tied up at 1 apiece here in the first half. And you talked a little bit about some of this Twitter feuding going on. How much of that do you think is real animosity between these 2 teams?
Oh, it's as real as it gets. There is some history here that has nothing to do with these 2 teams playing. The rest of the Ultimate community got involved. They thought that this would be the most fun matchup of Nationals. And so far, after 1 sloppy point, it actually is looking pretty nice.
So nice extension grab from Schreiwise to keep it in bounds. Scyther over to Jenny Fay. Fay, of course, another one of the preeminent throwers in the game. And Space Heater just working it with very quick passes, kind of keeping Space Mixtape on their heels. And has a little hop into the end zone. That's Ted Scyther with the score.
Wow, once they got it off this sideline, it was just open side, open side, open side. Check your shorts, Mixtape. You got to guard the open side. That's your one responsibility, and they just weren't doing it. Speaking of shorts, Scyther, look at these shorts. Really delightful. He saw the sun was going to be beautiful out here. He said, let's go with the extra small. Great choice.
Skies out, thighs out.
Without a doubt. He knew what the fans wanted to see, and he was hoping to be playing late into this bracket.
So 2-1 Space Heater here in the first half. And just like you said, though, Space Heater really got Mixtape just kind of backing off, working it all the way down the far sideline. What kind of adjustments then do you make to keep that from happening?
I think if you're going to run person defense here for Mixtape, you have got to commit to your person. Stay nice and close, right on their hip, and force them to beat you with an away throw that is farther than 30 yards here. So if you can stay close and on their hip underneath, force them to take a riskier shot, you're going to get a better chance at getting a block.
Space Heater with the pull. A little bit of a gusty crosswind. And that pull is going to go out of bounds. This is the first time since 1999 that the club championships have been held in San Diego. And you couldn't really ask for a better setting for this 50th anniversary of Ultimate, 40th anniversary club championship. Hauser with the disc, the far sideline. Great acceleration underneath. Burton shoots that over. That continuation, Kircher to Hauser. And Mixtape is answering right back. We're tied at 2s.
Absolutely fundamental work here by Kircher. Finds the space, was thrown out towards the break side by Burton, and it's just easy to the break side, unguardable. Quick throwing, love to see it. This Hauser matchup with Front is going to be fun though.
So we're all tied up at 2s here in the first half. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday morning, we're here at Surf Cup Sports Park. And then on Saturday and Sunday, moving over to Mira Mesa High School. And beautiful grass complex here. But in the San Diego area, they play a lot of beach for obvious reasons. And that beach field space is oftentimes more available than grass.
Watch out now, Sherpa's looking to get a block on the first pass.
So Faye with the disc for Space Heater. Quickly underneath to Khalifa. Up the line to Desmond. And that was headed straight to the ground, but Shrywise manages to catch it. And there is a down call. Let's take a look.
Ooh, that one's a tough one to say. That's really, really close. It just looked like it just like it hung on to Desmond's fingers there for a little bit too long. Definitely not what she was looking for in terms of a release point upwind. I don't know, looks good. Looks like Pat got his his fingertips under there.
So on the field, they do not have quite the benefit that we do to see. But if it's oh, well, there we go. The observer ruled it's up.
He actually, his sunglasses do have that super slow motion in there, so he's getting the benefit of that technology.
It's like the next gen Google Glass or something. So Norbaum over to Shrywise. And low release, but intercepted, immediately thrown deep. And just sails over the heads of everybody.
Ooh, Khalif is usually on the other side of one of these. I don't know, though. Might have been uncatchable. Certainly contact in his back, but the wind coming right to left here was picking it up the whole way. I mean, he's got to jump through the roof if he's going to make that catch.
So, contested foul will go back.
Maybe he was saying that he wasn't going to jump and was going to run it down. If that's the case, sure. Contested foul, though. Let's do it again.
So, Evan Klein with the disc as the wind's getting a little bit gustier. It started at 9 this morning at 3 miles an hour. And last check, it's certainly in double digits. That disc is staying in bounds, and out of the sky is the catch. And those feet were in bounds. Holy cow.
I heard before the game, they call this guy Sherpa because he always has your back. And this throw was far from perfect, but it looks like fantastic toe work here. Keeps his toes in for sure, but does he have possession all the way to the ground? Not sure. That must be what they're talking about and what happened here.
They're also, I think they were saying there might be an offensive foul called here as well. That, born to rise, unquestionably.
I'm not sure, where is he calling the offensive foul? Is he calling it 5 steps earlier and then continue to go make a play? I'm not sure. This one looks good, though. This isn't like the NFL, though, right? You don't have to keep possession all the way to the ground. As long as your toes are in and have possession, it's a goal, right?
I think you have to maintain possession all the way through.
All the way through the layout.
Yeah.
Observers have made a ruling, though, and it looks like it's going to be a turnover.
It is a turn. Well, turn or not, that was an amazing catch.
Spectacular. And apologies on my first broadcast. I did what I hate every announcer to ever do, and I got excited.
It's really hard not to get excited on something like that, though. Space Heater, though, looking right away to convert. They'll have to go the full 70. Schreiwise with the disc. Over to Seither, continuing. Looks like a little bit of help in the deep space, so poaching. And a pick is called.
Boy, Emily Smith has drawn the short straw here, guarding Claire Desmond in the deep space. She is just a tireless cutter, but I mean, I think it was the 3rd time she made the cut that Desmond got it, so great job by Smith.
So a reset, Schreiwise. For Kyle Khalifa. And really nice inside throw to Faye. And Faye puts up a floater. Lots of jerseys underneath. But Ted Seither is the one that comes up with it. What a grab.
Yeah, pretty average throw, pretty fantastic catch. This one seems like she might have misread the wind a little bit. The farther up in the air you get, the more gusty it's gonna be. And here comes Khalif off the backside. Safe body control, well done. Incredible catch out of Seither. That's 2 in a row for him up there.
It is. Seither, born to rise with that catch. 6 foot tall, but he seems to carry himself taller than 6 feet.
Absolutely. And I know we came here for the team-on-team matchup, but I would say Khalifa versus Khalif is a matchup I hope we see all day because, wow, stunning. Whoever set that one up, well done. What do you think Mark's saying here?
Mark seems to have pretty good composure to me. So, you know, I think what's really amazing about Mixtape is that they have a great balance between kind of the crazy antics, but then they can really focus in and have some of those Zen qualities as well. And I feel like he brings a lot of that to the team. He's a great coach also. So a flood play to isolate Hauser. Have some poaches in the lanes from Space Heater. Bolton to Hauser. And looking over the top to Stout. Reset to Hauser. Burton has that big hammer fake, but finds Kersher underneath. And a poach D right into the middle from Alan Kullock.
This is an Alan Kullock special. He just cleans up the lanes, shuts down his defender, and gets a block on someone else's guy. Well done.
So Space Heater now inside of half field. Moving into tight spaces, hoping to go up by 2. About 10 yards shy of the end zone. Bolton on the ground.
This is an ideal situation for Space Heater. They're in the red zone. You've got one of the best throwers in the game in Georgia Bosher with the disc, and Alan Kullock is your dump. This should be a nice and easy upline cut from Alan.
That Kullock-Hauser matchup is really nice too.
I'm no Tony Romo, so I got it wrong, but hey, Georgia Bosher still shredded in the space, and easy goal for him.
Georgia Bosher being Georgia Bosher, and that will give Space Heater a 2-goal lead in the first half. You just see so much patience from Space Heater.
That's their second break, and what a luxury to have a roster with this many great players to be able to have all of those folks playing on the D-line. You trust your offense to take care of the disc, and then you get to throw out, you know, all-world talents to play defense. On the turn, that's tough to guard. If I were Mixtape, I might consider a timeout here just to recenter ourselves, make sure everyone's on the same page, make sure you don't have anyone that's really getting too excited about 2 breaks. It's not the end of the world at all. Looks like they're just going to play through it, though. Mark Burton here to settle the team.
And it's a lot of the same players who were on that line before. And it's always hard strategic decisions, whether you pull kind of fresh legs for O-line or say, you know what, you're the O-line. You have this mental fortitude. Let's walk back and do it.
Absolutely. There are long-term dividends that you can pay by telling your O-line, we trust you. We're going to give you 2 shots. Even if something weird happens, you make a mistake, go get it on the second one and punch it in.
So Burton with the disc. Over to Hauser, cutting off of the front of the stack in the vertical. A lot of quick movement. Finds open space. Jorgensen is closing in, but she can't get there. Claire Revere just made her cut early enough to make it work.
You know, Sandy has made this block countless times where she has set it up by jogging into the space and making up all of that yardage. This time, though, Burton with an absolute dime, waited perfectly, got there quickly, didn't give Sandy a chance, and Claire, easy goal.
And that was as much as the throw as it was, like you said, the cut. and so much intelligence on both of their parts, knowing, okay, how do I catch it deep when Sandy Jorgensen is guarding me?
Absolutely, and Revere is not some B team player here.
Right.
She's a premier female cutter in the mixed game, in really the game at all, and so that disc is going to go up to her from Burton 100% of the time, regardless of matchup.
So Bailey will pull for Mixtape. And offsides. So a free, I mean, that was a pretty good pull, but it's a free pull for Mixtape.
It was. This looks like the AD line here from Mixtape. I imagine they're trying to load one line up here and capitalize on any sort of a turnover. It is the shoot it line. It looks like most of these players will have license to let it fly on a turn.
So Faye will receive to Norbaum. Khalifa, the disc. It's very tight space to Desmond. Leading pass to Faye, but that is batted down.
Lonnie
Just
win.
hung a little too long. Bailey centered back to as Mixtape is really working with those cuts from the front of the stack and then delivering the hammer to El Salam. That's a goal and a break for Mixtape.
Really surprising patience out of this line. They took their time swinging it back and forth, waiting until they could see the space open up, and then they just took, a really difficult hammer shot here into the wind. Wind is going left to right from where Klein is throwing this, and he puts the perfect amount of edge to sit it into space, and Leaf doesn't even have to make a play. He just jogs on over, easy peasy.
So now we're all tied up at 4 apiece. And really the D-line kind of coming back out. So far, all of Space Heater's turns have been Ds by Mixtape, forcing those turnovers.
That really, we didn't talk enough about that, but Lonnie Nguyen really took the space from Jenny Faye, and it was an easy block. She got her body in front and just took advantage.
Faye with the disc, finds Shrywise. And a huck that's floating, and somehow Freud comes up with it. Scyther over to Shrywise. And more patience from Space Heater. See that lefty flick around from Norbaum. A pick called. Lead observer, Mitch Dangler. They brought Mitch in for this game. He's there to kind of get that discussion.
I mean, is there a bigger celebrity in the game than Mitch Dangler? I don't know if there is.
Mitch Dangler's blue card is probably the only bigger celebrity. Faye really using the 360 for the fakes. And opening enough space. That's a goal for Space Heater. They go up 5-4.
Pretty average catch here by Joe going over the top of Khalif. Just delightful. I mean, an absolute trust throw. Evan was saying pregame, Evan Klein from Mixtape, he was looking forward to the matchup. He just didn't take it here. Evan, what's the deal, man? Didn't want to get roofed? Let your man Khalif get roofed? That's tough. I'm going to put this one on Evan Klein.
So the game very, very back and forth so far.
Can we check the ID on this guy? By the way, I heard he was young. He does not look young. Joe Frund, how old is this guy?
Joe Frund, according to the program, it says he's 20 years old.
I don't believe it. It could not be true. I mean, it could be true, but it could also not be true. I don't know. We need to check his ID after the game. Regardless, stellar play out of him so far. Strong defense, and then even stronger leaping ability.
Space Heater with the pull, Alan Kolick. And that goes out of bounds. With this crosswind, the pulls so far today, if they have gone out of bounds, have typically been on that side. The wind's pushing it that way.
Jesse Bolton picks up for Mixtape. He'll put it in play from the break mark. Pretty flat. Pretty flat.
So Bolton will check it in for Mixtape. And kind of that disc was shimmying down for Revere. Really high shot to Burton. It takes two hands, but he is able to get the goal.
No call here out of Cody Johnston. Looks like he slipped in the lane. Might have been some contact, but that's why Burton was so open. And you know what? Really had to make it interesting, right? I mean, if you throw this more on a line, I don't think Kolick has any chance at all. And, you know, definitely gave an opportunity there for Space Heater to make a play by making it such a floaty shot.
All tied up at 5s in the first half.
Oh, there's been such a missed opportunity here. We need to get a stopwatch on Brian Stout's shirt. It seems like he's truly in Nationals form. It is, I mean, it must be coming off in less than 2 seconds.
We'll try and get a look of him on the sideline. The hat comes on, but the jersey comes off. Isn't that something? So Khalif El-Salam with the disc. And receiving it is Ted Seither. Over to Norbaum. Mixtape in a zone look here.
Really love this to mix this up. Great time to change the defensive look. Space Heater came out, executed a flood play, and they got no yards at all. We'll see how long this zone is going to be used on this point.
Well, Blade over the top. Slides to catch is Norbaum. Reset to Fay.
They're out of it, but here's a mismatch a little bit downfield. Khalif does not want to be guarding a handler.
So you can see just a lot of very quick movement from Space Heater. Now they're right outside the goal line, and that's a goal for Space Heater. So Space Heater goes up 6-5 in this first half. See that patience.
Beautifully done. I mean, the IO flick into the wind there is really dangerous. So you have to take such care with the angle of release and give it just enough snap so that it doesn't bounce at all. It's tending to ride back towards the defender, giving a chance for a little bit of a tailing edge block, but really, really nicely done. And Zach Norbaum was just cruising on that point. He was everywhere. Great sliding catch earlier, moved it well in a dump set, and then just got to the back of the stack and filled for an easy goal.
So what started with a couple breaks early have just been really trading points back and forth. Both teams just truly showing their strength. There's the pull from the so-called 20-year-old Joe Freund. Bolton centered. Working it off the far sideline into the middle. And there's that shot. Fong with one hand has another score.
Rising up, you'll love to see it. Kai Fong attacking, but even better, look at this throw from Revere. She catches in the middle of the field, moves the mark a little bit to find the IO spot, and just beautiful. Look at this, out into space. Salmi has no chance. Huge advantage there. Attacking the break side of the field to start, going up against a backhand. Really, really nice job getting over to the flick side of the field and then working their way back to the middle. You're forcing the defense to play the entire width, and it makes it easy.
So they tie it up just like that. They make it look so easy, but it takes so much skill and precision for that to happen.
Absolutely, and this team practices a lot. They spend so much time working on these fundamentals that it is really showing off here. They look like a well-oiled offense.
Space Heater with the disc. Shrywise puts up a floating huck to Faye, and thought that maybe Desmond might come for the next attempt, but that'd be very tough.
Yeah, ill-advised shot there by Shrywise. Not sure he's got the speed of the game dialed in. Hasn't got a lot of reps for mixed.
And another floating huck. And two hands, al-salam. And an amazing celebration dance afterwards, too.
Look at this throw by Klein. He just knows what Khalif wants. The cookies are at the top shelf, and he's going to put every bit of effort to go get them. Doesn't matter how short your shorts are, Khalifa, you good luck when you're on the backside of Khalif.
So Mixtape going up by 1. Half is at 8.
We're back on serve.
Yes.
Big, big break. That was the one that they really, really needed. And no surprise, the heart and soul of this team, Khalif al-Salam.
He's so passionate. He's also very involved in this Seattle community, coaching and giving back. And you talk about Twitter, he's very active on Twitter.
Well, yeah, I've been trying not to go there, but I think we have to mention this feud started because of some Twitter from Khalif, and he is certainly come out to play hard. So that's 2 breaks caught by him. Let's see if he can make another play here to go into half.
Faye with the disc. Underneath and right up the line. Thought that might stay high enough, but isn't quite what Space Heater was hoping for. And turnover. So disc will go back to Space Heater. And they convert right away. That's Joe Freund with the score.
Boy, I would love to go back and see this offensive pull play. I know we got a short field turn here and a nice little goal. Little give and go and miscommunication. They're pointing, trying to find their mark, and it just was too quick out of Space Heater. But this initiation play is what you dream about when you put together Space Heater. You center the disc to Jenny Faye. Georgia Bosher coming in, unguardable on an in-cut. She's got a cannon. She rips it to Claire Desmond. I bet we're going to see that play at least once or twice more this game in the second half. Really, that's what people are lining these fields to see. Plays like that from three of the best players in the world.
So we're tied at 7s. The next team to score will take half. Be sure to join the conversation, too, on social media using hashtag USAUNats. USAU is on all the social channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. And you are likely watching us on one of those, and thank you for that.
I was wondering when we were going to see this. It looks like we finally have 4 women. I don't know if we've seen this yet in this game, but really smart call, I think, here by Mixtape.
So immediately, Revere goes deep. So underneath, Stout can come. Hauser in the deep space, but what a block from Alan Kolick.
This guy is unreal. He is a handler. He's a handler, and a great one at that, and yet he just gets block after block after block.
So Space Heater now on offense, working it on the far sideline. Kolick with the disc underneath to Bosher. Bosher with the huck and one-handed grab. Kelly Highland. What a throw.
Boom goes the dynamite. That's what we've been waiting to see. Upwind, no problem. Highland is just booking it after she throws this dump cut, and she's going to the house from the start. I mean, first of all, this block was really, really nice, all about the body position. Kelly started running from maybe 50 yards away, and Georgia throws it 49 yards to the back line. Beautifully done.
What an amazing put to end this first half. It's been so exciting, back and forth. The score certainly reflects that. Chris, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll do halftime interview and then talk about the second half. Welcome back at halftime, where we are with DC Space Heater leading Seattle Mixtape 8-7. I'm here with Fred Wolf from Space Heater. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you, thank you.
So exciting half so far. It started with a couple breaks, but then you guys seem to really settle into your rhythm. How are you able to do that?
Yeah, that was fun. I think we have a lot of really talented Ultimate players out there playing at the top of their game. Honestly, it was a little lower energy than I kind of thought the first half. I'm sure that'll pick up. Both teams are coming off competitive games. But yeah, that was exciting. I forgot the question, honestly.
It's been a fun first half so far,
fun.
with a lot of amazing plays, players that we have heard of on a lot of other teams, even leading up to this point. What were some plays that really stood out to you in this first half?
Right, I mean, Joe Freund going up there on Khalif, you're going to see that one, for all year, really, I'm sure. I'm really happy that'll get spread around. Georgia Bosher, that throw to Beezus, Kelly Highland at the end, huge. She's really good at Frisbee, it turns out. All around, I mean, I think we're just deep top to bottom. These people you never heard of. Kyle Khalifa is getting the El Salam matchup. I don't think anyone saw that coming, but he's killing it.
Oh, we're loving that matchup.
You're loving that? Cool, good to hear.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So now looking towards the second half, Mixtape is a team, they're only down by 1 right now. They're used to kind of crawling out of a hole. So what does Space Heater do to, kind of keep their composure?
Totally. So I think RO, honestly, I think a lot of people expected there to be too many stars on this team. I think there's too many role players on this team. I think every single person has kind of settled into their possession offense and not being the hero, and I love it. I think people can be the hero a little more even, which is something nobody saw coming. Obviously, we're super comfortable making a ton of short throws on the O-line, and if we just keep it up, I think good things are going to happen.
Awesome. Well, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Fred Wolf with Space Heater. They lead Mixtape 8-7. The 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web at vcultimate.com. And what an exciting first half we've had so far. Emmy Fitzgerald with Chris Mazer. And Chris, I thought it was interesting that Fred Wolf said, with so many heroes you see on the Space Heater team, he honestly wishes there was a little more hero play on the offense. He's like, we have too many role players.
You know what? That's what great players do and make them great. You can be a talented player, but to be a great player, you have to be a really good teammate, and that involves being a little deferential at times and supporting your teammates and doing the little things right, clearing and making space for others. All of these players over here on Space Heater have played with other fantastic teammates, and they've known that, you know what, I don't have to make the play every single time. And so they do that extremely well. I think all of those little bits and pieces about, oh, they need more chemistry together, they don't practice enough. You know what? When you're really good, you know where to go. You know where to go, and you can trust your teammates who know where to go are going to continue to do those things. I think it's lived up to the billing so far. This is a really exciting matchup. I'm pumped for the second half.
So the first poll is up for the second half, Space Heater on offense. And that was just popped up in the air, intercepted by Bailey. El Salam with the disc. So right away, a break opportunity for Mixtape if they can convert. Right outside the end zone. El Salam with that continue, one-handed grab. And popping up in the air, and that is batted down.
Boy, Cam Bailey, he just lives on contact. This, you could just bump into the back of him over and over and over again. It doesn't look like he's ever going to call a foul. He might be playing a little bit too much of this 2v2 matchup thing.
So the disc goes back to Space Heater, the hands of Faye. And layout,
Sherpa.
but a little bit of a hurdle exercise from Shrywise. And there's the huck. It is floating on a rope, but one-handed catch. That is a goal. No wonder he got the Donovan Award.
2008, that's exactly what I was going to say. Donovan Award winner, Zach Norbaum. If you didn't know about him before, you better learn quick. This kid can play. All-out effort. Knows he's got no other game after this, got a layout, big time catch, and with his non-dominant hand, no less. Great grab.
Born to rise. Zach Norbaum rises to get that. Incredible. And explain, what is the Donovan Award, Chris?
So the Donovan Award is the Callahan equivalent for the Division III schools. And so he, this year, was voted as the best player out of all the D3 schools out of Mary Washington. And that just shows you that you have this roster full of experienced top-end players, and they are trusting these younger guys between Norbaum and Frund, college guys, to go ahead and take care of the offense and get the job done. Pretty special.
What a catch. If you don't know, now you know. So Space Heater will then go up by 2 to start the second half.
You know, you can really actually go back to the possession that Mixtape had there and dissect a little bit. They took too many passes to get it done. Sometimes when you can score a goal in 2 passes, it is way better to just go and try to jump one in, and they didn't capitalize.
Mixtape on offense. Stout catches it with 2 hands, but a little late contact.
Classic play by Boylan Colchin. Gosh, he's got a history of doing this kind of thing. It's just not right. And once again, there's no hesitation from head observer Mitch Dengler to come in with the blue card. Well done, Mitch. Glad you put him in the place.
Revere to Kircher with the disc to Burton. Burton with the hammer over the top.
Get your stopwatch ready. When's the shirt coming off?
Brian Stout with the score. Mixtape within 1.
You know what? If you took the over, folks, you won, because that was way too long. Great catch. Even better throw here. Downwind hammer. Throws it on a rope. I mean, nice and low. Gets flat early, which is different than most hammers that stay more on a 45-degree angle. This is more of like that Kirk Gibson style hammer. He throws it right off the top of his head and keeps it flat and low. And that way he can ride the wind downwind and make an easy catchable pass for the receiver. Well done, Mark.
Much harder to defend, too, because it's not floating as much as sometimes hammers can.
Absolutely.
You called it on the shirt, though. I don't even think that was 15 seconds.
Yeah, but, you know, he's letting his fans down. He's got to be a sub-5 guy. I know people are out there with a stopwatch on this. The difference between talented throwers and truly great throwers is the ability to throw a catchable pass into space regardless of who you're throwing to. And that's what makes Mark Burton special.
Space Heater on offense, going to Faye. Underneath, Norbaum. Continues up to Bosher, or Desmond. And Desmond shoots that to Freund. What was that?
That is just fundamental offense. Sometimes you see teams trying to jam it up the jam hole. This one, they just left all the space in the world. You could have driven a truck down Main Street, easy one-on-one. El Salam has no chance. Perfectly thrown backhand by Claire Desmond.
Beautiful. Born to rise on that throw. That is Freund's third goal so far of the game. Surprising it's only his third for as involved as he's been.
He's making a huge impact. He is definitely the biggest player on the field, which is rare since Stout's out here, but he is really doing it on both sides of the disc. He's not making those huge takeaway blocks, but he's defending the deep space well, shutting down easy scoring looks, and also, by the way, playing really good person defense in the lane. Really solid work out of the 20-year-old.
So Space Heater will go up by 2. Mixtape on offense. Jesse Bolton donning an unusual little hat bonnet-y thing there.
Let your game speak for yourself. Don't need the attention. Come on, Jesse.
And he throws a big huck, so big, it's too deep. So Space Heater will pick up just about right on their goal line. And what a backhand. Floating for Jorgensen. And she eats that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
This is a nightmare to defend. You good luck, everyone else in the mixed division, because if you're going to give Georgia Bosher an in-cut and Sandy's going to be one-on-one, it's game over. You might see this 15 times this weekend. It was perfectly thrown. This is the degree of difficulty on this throw with the fact that the wind is coming left to right. She's got to throw this with a little bit of an IO edge out of her hand so that it sits up into space and still gets the full 60 yards of distance. I mean, Georgia's putting on a throwing clinic.
Let's take a look at it from the aerial view. You can see all the field space she's covering.
It's beautifully done, and that's the break side of the field, which makes it even harder to defend. This is really, really nice. Got to give a little bit of credit to Eric Salmi here. He gets the offense started by throwing a really hard IO fake, moving the mark, and then throwing out into space. It's almost like you can get power position out of an in-cut because he's thrown it with such touch and into space that Georgia can run in and set her feet really early and continue down the break side.
Yeah, she threw that actually really close to our commentator's booth, and just the torque was
Can we look at this? Kelly Highland is pulling now. Fantastic.
amazing.
Perfect pull. Awesome. Set it up.
So Burton with the disc. Moving over to Revere. Just really tight defense from Space Heater. That's kind of the first separation that Mixtape's been able to get. Stout over to Kircher. Kircher with the shot to Revere, and that's a goal for Mixtape.
Fantastic work. Kircher again. They just need to feed her the rock. My Lady Biscuits and Gravy just putting it to space for Claire Revere. How are you going to defend it? I mean, Mixtape here is, there's something about at the start of this point, you saw all 7 players running just a bit harder. They feel the pressure here, and their response is to work hard for their teammates. Bravo, well done.
And you can really see the talent top to bottom, but especially in the past 2 points of the women and their throws and deep cuts so far. Just remarkable.
Really, really good. I'm learning some intel, by the way. This hat that we called out on Bolton is actually a shame hat for having thrown the most turnovers in the first half, and tough sledding for him here. First touch, one more turn. He might not be giving that hat up for a while.
Oh, it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, throwing the turn with the shame hat, but it does match his socks. There's a little bit of coordination there already. And the pull will just land out the back.
You know what they say, you can fit 10,000 discs into a space that is better than the brick mark, and Khalif missed all 10,000.
So, take it there, Norbaum to Faye, underneath to Desmond. Shrywise. Now working on this far sideline. Faye just grinds to get open. That strike cut. Freund with the disc. As Space Heater is in their end zone set, or in the end zone. And Faye with that nice throw to Zach Norbaum.
What a great adjustment out of Jenny Faye that point. Earlier in the game, Lonnie Nguyen used her body position to take advantage and get a block. This time, Faye learns. She gets in front, puts her shoulders in front of Nguyen on 2 different spots here, and then makes a beautiful little touch backhand up and over. Norbaum having a heck of a game.
And Jenny Faye also is such a veteran player, also coach of YCC team that made a pretty deep run at the International Club Championships in the youth division.
Whew, don't look now, 12-9. This is a tough spot if you're Mixtape. You've got to go upwind, down 3 in the second half. Whole community is watching and waiting to see how this one shakes out. Ooh, who's going to step up here? I think you've got to keep running the show here a little bit through Kircher when you're in the red zone. She seems to be making some of the best decisions with the disc in her hand.
A lot of height on this pull. Caught by Bolton. Now center to Burton, back to Bolton.
Stagnant downfield at a Mixtape.
And now kind of in that corner. Burton pops that up to Hauser, going overhead, intercepted.
It's Kolick's 3rd block of the game, just playing heads-up defense everywhere.
So now on the doorstep, Space Heater, the chance to score. High release to Kolick. And that is a goal. High up, Boylan Colchin.
What a quick release. Allen with the throw and go, gets moving across the field, catches it. It doesn't even have his feet set and still manages to throw a beautiful little flick into space. No problem, still finishing his cut. Easy goal on the other cone. Fundamental, swinging it back and forth.
And Space Heater taking advantage, playing really tight person defense. I mean, that throw that went up that Kolick intercepted, that was a bailout. They had nothing on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of pop, might be a little bit of nerves. They weren't getting any sort of motion downfield at all. And then he tried to throw a little bit of a backhand break, and that wind, like I've been saying all game, it's coming from behind us, which is left to right, going in that direction. For Burton's backhand, it's gonna pop if you don't really snap it and keep it low. The hole gets deeper here for Mixtape, 4-goal differential.
So Space Heater 13, Mixtape 9. It's a game to 15. Mixtape really needing to score. The pull bounces and rolls. Bailey centers it to Burton. Do kind of a reverse zipper on that play. The cuts from the front. Hauser underneath, Kircher. And one-handed bobble, very uncharacteristic for Mixtape.
The pressure continues to mount, and here is cool as ever Adam Ratty, just ready to march Space Heater down for another break.
Throwing to Jorgensen. Nice inside throw, and that is down. Her toes were down. That's a score.
Kelly Highline catches her second break of the game up here in this upwind end zone, and boy, this, I mean, I don't know what I would do here if I was Mixtape. Do you even burn the timeout? Is the lead too big? It's fundamentals at this point. 2 hands for safety. You gotta be able to catch an in cut, whether someone's right on your back or you're wide open. And here you look at the other side of the disc, and Space Heater just throwing fundamental passes, hitting their teammates in chests, and then catching with 2 hands. It's that simple.
So fun fact, Kelly Highland, who just caught that score, she and Mark Burton on Mixtape played on a mixed team together in Ireland.
They played for Team Ireland in 2016, the mixed team, which actually fuses these 2 teams together a lot. Khalif El Salam played on Team USA that year, along with Sandy Jorgensen, and Kelly and Mark played together. We're talking about teammates from both playing now with other teammates from either. It's really, really fun. Super cool to see. And it looks like Mixtape's not going to give up here. They're going to load up their offense and really try to punch one in. And here comes the depth from Space Heater.
So another moonbeam of a pull.
Still better than out of bounds.
Hauser with the disc and immediately shoots to the end zone. 1-on-1, that's hanging. But there's the block.
Didn't read the scouting report on Crystal Davis. You can't just throw that up to her person. She's going to clean it up every single time. Really good position defense out of Crystal, and here she is first in the lane.
So now Davis with the disc into the middle for Sands. McLean throws that to Kolick, and Kolick with the high point. There's some discussion, though. Let's not call it in quite yet.
Allen with the sneaky hops. Might have traded shorts here with Khalifa, or they're just riding up. He just wants to make sure the fans know the thighs matter on Space Heater.